Welcome back to the Top 6 show. A bit of a transfer special for you today with a number of big stories to go through. Cherki to Arsenal. Could he be the creative replacement for Odegaard they so desperately need or crave, at least from some parts of the fan base? We're talking Mbeumo. Thomas Frank confirming that he's very likely to leave this summer. Where will he go? Chelsea, again, another story. They want Morgan Rogers to come to Stamford Bridge. What would he bring them? Where will he play? Can it be done? We're looking at Liverpool chasing a brand new winger. They have quoted the press today. Liverpool briefed the press, to say he's a world-class winger. We're going to be going into that in more detail. Looking ahead as well at the Europa League games tonight. Plus, there's a lot of massive games in the next 48 hours or so going into Sunday regarding the top 5 race in the Premier League, Champions League football up for grab, huge amounts of money ahead of what I think is going to be a gargantuan transfer window. It's going to be massive. I don't think anybody can deny that. So we want to hear from you, want your thoughts, want your opinions in the comment section below. We have a wonderful panel for you today as well. We've got man like Kingsley back here repping Arsenal. We've got little Tom on the show with his curtains looking smug after lifting number 20. But I love him to bits because he ranked Gerrard number 8 in the all-time Premier League midfield greats list.
7.
So love that.
7th.
7th, 7th, 8th, same thing. Henry Talks Football is here with us today to also give us, bless us with his dulcet tones on the show. And I think Omar, the Barca fan, may be joining us a little bit later as well. How are we all? We all good? We all well? We all happy?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, very good, mate.
I had a wonderful weekend and days afterwards.
Can't say the same, but yeah. Public holiday today in Nigeria, though.
There we go. Something to be happy about. It's beautiful weather here in England. That's why I've got the see-through shirt on, as you can see. It's lovely. Been out in the garden, catching a bit of sun. I don't tan. I just go red, then go white again. But there we go. It's always nice. Henry, why are you in such a good mood for?
Just because I think Tottenham will go out tonight and get a convincing win, put us in a strong position for the final. Looking at their team news, I don't know if you wanted to start on the Europa League, but that's kind of where I press the combo.
We can go into it later. I just wanted to check while you're in it. You really think you're going to smash it tonight?
Yeah, I think we'll win minimum of 3 goals tonight. I think we'll go 3-0 minimum.
Wow.
They have got...
Why are you setting yourself up for disappointment?
I don't understand what he's doing here.
Because our entire
something
season...
we haven't. You've seen something we haven't.
No, I'm looking at the team news and they've got their goal scorer, their captain, their creative midfielder, and 2 of their centre-backs missing. If we can't beat Bodoe Glimt's bench, then there's something severely wrong with us.
When was the last time Tottenham won a game by 3 goals?
When they beat Man United?
Probably.
Yeah, Man City away.
Ipswich on the 22nd of Feb, and that doesn't really count because it's Ipswich. Before that, it was Elfsborg on January.
We did beat AZ Alkmaar in the Europa League by 3 goals.
No, you beat them 3-1.
Oh, sorry, 3. We scored 3 goals.
We're
not losing.
I don't know why you're setting yourself up for disappointment, but I'm good to see you happy.
We'll be talking about. By the way, if you guys don't win tonight, the headlines write themselves, don't they? And it's got to be something along the lines of like Bozo Gimp, something along those lines that the newspapers have got to do if you don't win tonight. More on the games a little bit later. Some transfer stories to start with. And I wanted to start with Liverpool, actually, on tonight's show. A big story I read earlier on today, and I want to read you this here. It says Liverpool are prepared to make a move this summer for what they consider to be the world-class Bayern Munich forward, Kingsley Coman.
Oh, for fuck's
This link's come out today. You're not too keen on him like your club are? 28 years old, experience, won everything. What's wrong with Kingsley Coman?
There are certain clubs on the planet who don't sell their best players.
Is it a colour thing? I mean, well, come on, tell us. What's the problem here?
It's an injury thing.
He's French, isn't he? So
it's a fucking injury thing more than anything. There's certain clubs that don't sell their best players. Real Madrid, or unless they want to go, and that's like your Real Madrids of this world, your Bayern Munichs of this world. So if they're willing to let Kingsley Coman go, which they have been for about 4 seasons now, why would I want him? They're clearly trying to push him out the door, and he's not going. We need there are wingers on the market. This could be a really good summer to address the wing situation, especially I think left wing. As much as I'm not the biggest fan of Diaz, he's had a decent season, so you do need an element of quality to upgrade on him. Coleman is not enough. I'm doing Chiesa again.
Tom, do we agree or do we not agree that he's a good player? Let's start there first.
No,
is he a good player?
I don't think he's a good enough player at this point. At this point in time, no, he's not a good enough winger.
Now, the only real issue of Kingsley is his injuries, man. Maybe your fitness regime might be able to manage it. You never know.
The man's needs 29. He's older than Diaz, I think.
Okay,
I want to get younger than Diaz.
Experience.
I don't need experience. My squad has all the experience it needs.
The highest amount of goals he scored in the season is 8.
Big game player.
8.
Multiple trophies.
Kingsley, stop trying to sell me Coman. We're going to talk in about 10 minutes about Morgan Rodgers.
Positives.
Or Pedro Porro.
Oh my God. Every single time. I don't want Pedro Porro. I'd rather have no right back. But we're going to talk in 10 minutes about Morgan Rodgers.
As a season, though, he's starting in the 25 starts he's had this season. 9 goals and assists, 11 big chances created. There is output in this player, and at the end of the day, you need to bring in additional output. And I think you could get Coleman at a decent price. I think free,
though? Isn't it free?
Is he free?
I think his contract's over this season.
If he's free, you got to be doing it.
No,
I'd take him for free.
No, I don't.
He's also on 250 grand a week.
Why would I sign Coleman?
Why not?
Because he's not good enough.
No, his contract expires in 2 years' time, in 2027.
There are Rodrygo. This week, the reporter that Rodrygo wants to leave. Morgan Rodgers, they'll have PSR concerns.
But you're not that club. But you're not that club. Let's have it right. Listen, I know you're not going to like me for saying this, but let's be honest about Liverpool.
Right.
And but this is you guys boast about this, so this is not Terry Flewers being salty. We've all seen the viral video from Rants where he just says you guys that don't have Paul like that. That isn't what I'm saying. You guys, even though you're a local wall, you as a Liverpool fan have said this to me on shows. Liverpool fans boast about this till the cows come home. We don't buy superstars, we make them. So you are not going to go and get Rodrygo. He's a superstar. It literally goes against the makeup of your club. I just don't think you're going to do that. Coleman for me is, by the way, Coleman isn't a star you can make. Coleman looks like those signings that you've made before, like the Thiagos and the like, where experience, slightly older. You're not bringing him in to be the mainstay in the first team. He'll be part of the squad, used here and there. But with his ability, his impact from the bench could be massive next season. And if you could get him in on a decent amount of money, right? Because he knows Bayern want rid of him, right? If he's willing to move, you can get him for a decent fee, 30, 35 million euros. He could be an amazing.
I genuinely feel like I'm getting gaslit on this stream. Why would I want Coman comes in as my third choice left winger? The one position
behind who? Behind whom?
Diaz and Gakpo.
Nah,
Diaz is going. Diaz is going. He's better than Diaz. He's better than Diaz.
He's not better than Diaz. He's not better than Diaz. I don't even like Diaz, and he's not better than Diaz. I don't even like Diaz, and he's not better than Diaz.
You don't like Diaz, so
but he's not better. I don't like Diaz, but there is still a bare minimum that I want to replace him.
Tom, don't do that.
Diaz has done better than Coman in every measurable statistic this year.
And he's got huge injury problems.
And he's younger. And he doesn't have the same injury problems
that
Coman does. There's no reason for me to go for Coman.
Samir here, one of our viewers, has said, can you afford the 150 million for Rodrygo? Will you pay that?
No, but I don't. I mean, I'd be very shocked if that's the asking price, considering the reports. If that's the asking price, you're not going to pay it. And I agree.
No one's going to pay 150 million for
Rodrygo. I don't think that will be the asking price if they want to move him on.
Yeah, how much? How much? He's going to be He's going to be between 80 and 100 million, though, isn't he?
I'd pay that for him if I can sell Diaz.
Okay.
If I can sell Diaz, I'd buy Rodrygo.
Let's slow down again just for a bit of conversation. I know you would do it, Tom. Right? You would, but you don't like food, right? So things that you do in life compared to the rest of us are different. Will FSG, Will Edwards sign off on, say, let's meet in the middle here on £90 million plus 300,000 pound a week to sign Rodrygo? Or is it more likely, if they want some experience, that they would look at a player like Kingsley Coman, look at your club, how you operate, the way Edwards operates, which one do you think's actually more likely, brother?
Rodrygo.
Okay,
That's how unlikely Coman is.
Okay, fair
if
enough,
we're going by the standards that Liverpool set, the one that they signed Thiago once, that's the only time they've broken from it, and that Thiago was the best midfielder. He just won man of the match in the Champions League final. Like I think he's in a different class at this point to Kingsley Coman with his 5 goals. Like
8
Thiago
goals
was still
in the league in the last 2 seasons.
Wait, didn't Coman score the goal in that final?
Yeah,
and Thiago got man of the match. And also, I'm not signing Kingsley Coman of 2020. I'm signing Kingsley Coman of 2025.
16 goals in the league in 3 seasons at Bayern Munich. 16.
How many games?
That's across 49, 64.
How many games has this man missed from injury in the last 2 seasons?
Yeah, don't worry about that. Your medical team's brilliant, bro. Don't worry about it. But I just think you're making all these excuses to not sign Coleman when I think you're sort of, what's the expression? You're sort of hitting a gift horse in the mouth.
He's
What's the
missed 30 games. That's near on a full Premier League season.
In his career, that's not bad.
No, in the last 2 seasons. I've already made the mistake of buying.
Where's your source? Where's your source? Where's your source?
Transfer market?
No, put it on the screen and prove it. I don't believe you. I don't think you're telling the truth.
Fine.
He spent 47 days in the 2021 season injured. He missed 6 games. 19-20, he missed 12. 18-19, he missed 28.
Oh, what's this done to me?
He's missed 110 games for injury at Bayern Munich.
So from that point, you've got 1, 2.
Why is it doing this? Sorry, keep speaking, mate. Sorry.
You've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 13, 14, 22, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. 30 games in the last 2
That's only
seasons.
league, though. You're not counting Champions League or anything else.
No. That those are the on transfer market. It just shows total games that they've missed in a season. When you look at their injury record, it does that. But yeah, listen, I think you're being a little harsh. I really do. Eric here says if Rodrygo leaves, I see him at City. I mean, there is a big possibility that Rodrygo leaves this summer. All seriousness, I by the way, I agree with you. I'm just winding you up about the Coman thing. I think Liverpool should avoid Kingsley Coman like the plague. I really do personally.
He's an Arsenal type winger. That's his level.
No, maybe. But where do you guys see Rodrygo? Where do you guys see Rodrygo going? Can you see him in the Premier League?
Yeah,
I think
see him at City or Arsenal.
Arsenal.
I don't think he'll come to the Premier
Why
League.
is that funny, Tom? Explain why that's funny.
Rodrygo enjoying an Arsenal.
No, but why wouldn't he? Why not?
That's not an argument, Tom.
Exactly.
Arsenal's left wing situation.
If he leaves Real Madrid, where is he gonna go?
PSG.
The Prem, or maybe what, Bundesliga?
He's not. If he leaves Real Madrid, he comes to the Premier League and he comes to either Manchester City or Liverpool.
Yeah.
I don't think
they're the 2 clubs.
But why not Arsenal?
Because Arsenal have bigger areas to address than left wing.
Hey, come on.
Why would Arsenal go spend 100 million quid on another left winger when they need a striker?
Because we've got Martin Ellis and Trossard as our wingers. Trossard's getting sold to Saudi in summer.
You've got left wingers. You've got good left
Trossard's
wingers.
getting sold at summer. Sterling's basically not existent, and also Martinelli ain't any good. So why wouldn't he?
In order for
it's pretty obvious. If he comes to Arsenal, he's going to start.
Yeah, but okay. So if he comes to Arsenal, who are you selling?
Yeah. So why? I don't get why he wouldn't. Like, that's not even an option.
You'd have to sell one of your current front 3, and I don't think you're going to sell Martinelli.
We don't have to sell anyone, bro. We don't have to sell anyone. We need competition.
You can't. If you're looking at
we're selling Trossard, we're selling Trossard.
Okay, so Trossard we don't want to go. Okay.
We basically got no Jesus.
If you're talking about spending £300 million this window, or 250, we'll say, the war chest, which you've all seen, read 1,000 times, do you not think spending 100 million on the strikers will be a lot more beneficial?
But we don't need to spend 100 million on a striker. We can buy Gyökeres for 65 or whatever they say. Get Rodrygo for, I guess, I'm thinking under 100 personally, and we got change.
So
I know you don't want him.
If you're Rodrygo, if you're Rodrygo,
fair
if you're
noise.
Rodrygo, which club do you pick?
Out of
Genuinely,
who and who?
no bias to it. Which club out of the 3 clubs that we think in the Premier League could buy him, do you look at and go, that's the best spot for me
So
to
who are the
buy
3
in the
clubs?
next 5
Arsenal,
years? Arsenal,
City.
City, Liverpool.
If
Okay.
you're picking City, let's just be brutally honest.
I don't know, but you lot are ruling out the pull of London as well. Like that's got nothing to do with it, and it has. You might laugh it off, but it has got something to do with it. And
Yeah,
we're
of course
challenging
it has.
right
But
now,
you're looking at City,
and we could potentially be in a Champions League final.
City have got the
Who knows?
worst
Win
wingers out of the 3
You
clubs
never know.
in terms
Huh?
of output.
Do you know what? Do you know what? I look at it this way, right? I think of if all 3 go into it seriously, I think City have the best chance. The finances, who their manager is, they'll have all of you will have an open spot for Rodrygo.
Oh, sorry, I'm sorry. Don's sitting there trying to bring Chelsea into this
Don't
argument.
entertain it.
Don's sitting here trying to walk in with
Tom,
Chelsea.
don't do it. Tom, don't do it, bro. Don't entertain it, please.
Don't let us get involved with Rodrygo. Listen, so none of you think Chelsea have got the ability to pull off Rodrygo?
Why would they
What-
join
what-
Chelsea over any of these top 3 clubs that are ready to win the Premier League next season?
Kindergarten over there.
They're
man.
definitely paying the wages he wants,
He'll
though.
be the most experienced person there. He's not going there, man.
There's a lot more chance Chelsea paying him
Would he?
300 grand a week than
No, there isn't that. Well, maybe there is. Maybe there is, but maybe there isn't. Chelsea fans, like Don, spent the entirety of last summer swishing away any player that wanted more than 150 a week and it doesn't fit our model, and they back that model. So Chelsea have got to break their entire structure to bring in a player like him. And the knock-on effect of that is what I'm really intrigued to see. By the way, they've got to do it. They should do it. I'm not saying that they shouldn't do it. But then you're going to have players going, hang on, though, I'm on 70, 80 grand a week and I'm on 100 grand a week. And I know Rodrygo's won a lot. But look, on a real level, City, we'll do all 4. If Chelsea are in the hunt as well, it quite simply goes in this order for me. City, Arsenal, Liverpool, Chelsea.
Facts.
And in fact, Chelsea, as bad as they've been in the last 3 years, have taken quite a few players off of.
Why are Arsenal above Liverpool?
Because
Liverpool just won the league title.
okay, if we're basing it purely on Paul, then you could put Liverpool above them. I'm also basing it on the fact that Liverpool, that's why I'm actually going to move Liverpool to 4th. Liverpool don't buy superstars. I don't see them paying the salary he'll demand and the wage. So that's part of the pool, part of your pool and attraction. When any of you apply for jobs, right? I could be the most reputable brand in the world, right? Oh, wow, look, everyone knows the Football Terrace is amazing. Terry wants me to be a full-time host. What's he offering to pay you? Yes, minimum wage, but I'm going to do it, right? There could be 2 or 3 other channels that are out there offering you 80, 90 grand a year. The going rate. That's not the going rate for a host of a YouTube channel, by the way. I'm just making that up, right? But I'm saying, right, you're not just going to go, I'm going to work for Terry because everyone loves his channel. You're going to take the money. You're going to take the money. By the way, when those other places are also attractive, let's not pretend Arsenal are not attractive. City are not amazingly attractive. And look, Chelsea have got Cucurella ahead of Manchester City. They have gone and got Lavia and Caicedo ahead of Liverpool. So as much as Don, we're laughing at him, it is not beyond the realms of possibility. The only thing stopping Chelsea is their wage structure. That's it. That's it.
I think.
And if they don't get Champions League, I don't think they got a hunt.
Yeah, no, that obviously that plays a big part as well. Like that's very true. If you're out of the Champions League, it diminishes it massively for a player like Rodrygo. But my order of the other 3 is City, Arsenal, Liverpool.
I think the thing with us though is we've had previous history with Rodrygo. He's come out and said that he very nearly joined us back in 2017 when he was a teenager, but he stayed in Brazil to stay with Santos. We've been a big admirers of him for a number of years now. If he became available, I think he's one of the players that you would spend that the football club would spend the money on, because not only do you get a top left winger for the next 2 years, there's your Salah replacement when he goes, and you can now go and get a different type of winger on the left, and you can put Rodrygo on the right and guarantee that you've got a top guy there, rather than, because we're in a tough spot with Salah because you can't sell being the backup to Salah. No player wants that because Salah doesn't get injured. So
would you be concerned on his output?
What Rodrygo's output?
In terms of league goals. 6 goals in 30 games this season.
Not necessarily, because he's he's the one that's got to sacrifice his game to accommodate Vinicius and
Yeah, but you
Mbappe.
could say the same about Bobby Firmino when you had Mane and when you had Salah, but he was still putting up good numbers.
The year we won the title, Bobby Firmino got 8 goals.
Is that all he got?
Yeah.
Oh, fair enough.
He didn't score at home until the last game of the season. Like,
I think
these
you've also
players have to sacrifice the game.
Yeah, you've also got to factor in as well. Rodrygo's playing on his weaker side, although he's phenomenal at it.
Exactly.
Vinicius has barely scored the second half this season. Real Madrid do have a system issue at the moment. It's kind of, since Mbappe's come in, it's crumbled. They have no ball playing midfielder in the middle. I think you put Rodrygo on the left-hand side in a team that's got a good structure. So Arsenal, City, Liverpool. I think there's the strong possibility that he doubles his output. But even this year, he's still creating anywhere between 1 to 2 chances per game for his team. So the creativity and everything's there. I think he would thrive. If you take Arsenal as an example, same as Liverpool can you imagine Saka and Rodrygo on either side? Can you imagine Salah or Rodrygo on either sides? It is a game changer. And those teams in those positions, by the way, if Liverpool pull it off, I'll just do nothing but say fair play to them. What Liverpool should be doing with their prize money from the Premier League this year is buying a player like him, is putting him at 24 years of age on 300 grand a week, bringing him straight in and saying, like, yes, Salah's here and he's the star, but you're the next in line. You have them on either side of your flank. Your chances of retaining the Premier League go through the absolute roof.
He's one of the only 2 wingers that I want us to, because as much as I'll get on Diaz, I do think that he's shown there's a level of output there this year. So that was my big concern. So the amount of wingers I'd take to replace him now is lesser. Based on who could move this summer, there's only 2 guys on the market that I look at, and that's Rodrygo and Rodgers. So if Rodrygo becomes available, we should be going all out for him. If he isn't, then you go all out for Rodgers. If not, if neither of them 2 are available, I'm not against keeping Diaz for 1 more year. Because I don't think
is Rodgers' best position on the wing, by the way?
I think Morgan Rodgers is one of these unique players you can put anywhere across that front line, barred up front, and he's so important for the team. He's so dynamic with his dribbling. I think one of his best games this season was in the loss against you 2-0. When you beat them 2-0 at the start of the season, but he ran that game.
By the way,
he's playing in midfield in that game. He's playing in midfield in that game.
Just very quickly on Rodrygo, it's only on around 200,000. I say only, but for football, he's on £200,000 a week at the minute. So he's not on astronomical money. So you wouldn't have to sort of, maybe 300k is a little bit north of what you would have to actually pay for him. On Morgan Rodgers, though, you bring him up, and that brings us to another story that's circulating today. And this has been shared via Gimme Sport. And they say that Chelsea are monitoring the progress of Morgan Rodgers at Aston Villa. Fabrizio Romano was revealed exclusively on Give Me Sport, and people need to realize Give Me Sport now, Fabrizio Romano is their main source of their stuff. Chelsea are really looking at him. They want to try and buy him, and I think when they say, I know people hate the phrase like monitoring the progress. Clearly what that means is if Chelsea I feel it means if Chelsea make the Champions League and Aston Villa don't, it's something they're going to really push for. But I know we've had a bit of a joke with Chelsea earlier on in the show, but is Morgan Rodgers exactly what Chelsea need?
No. I think if Chelsea go out, he's Aston Villa's star player. He's still got a little while on his contract. He's homegrown. They could say, right, we want £80 million, and that's not unreasonable in this market. If Chelsea go out there and spend £80 million on Morgan Rodgers and don't bring in a striker, and don't bring in a centre-back, and don't bring in a goalkeeper, those are the 3 areas Chelsea should be looking at. As great as a player that he is, Rodgers, I'm a big fan of his. I think he's one of the best ball-playing footballers in the league. I mean, I remember when he played that game against City and he was absolutely, or it might have been Arsenal, they couldn't handle him. And that was the kind of game that he kind of built on and then went on a good run of form. But Chelsea have got bigger priorities. If they don't bring a goalkeeper in this, and we're sitting here, the end of the Club World Cup, the start of the Premier League season, and they're still sitting here with Sanchez in goal, then they really need to look at that recruitment.
Yeah, but even what good wingers do Chelsea have, Henry? What good wingers do they have?
Well,
I'm not saying he's the right answer, but what good wingers do Chelsea have?
I think they don't have good wingers, but they've spent too much money on wingers at this point.
Fair.
They've kind of got to make one of them work at least for another season.
Yeah, I mean, Pedro Neto is a good option, but They should be spending their money. If they bring the goalkeeper in, centre back and striker, then go and spend the money on Rodgers.
But let's be real. Let's be real though. He is what they need as well. Chelsea don't need just one thing. Let's be brutally honest. The only attacking player or attack-minded player in the last 3 years who has cut the mustard at the highest level for Chelsea. This is Chelsea's overarching standard. Maybe next year Pedro Neto goes up a level. Maybe Madueke goes up a level. Maybe Jackson goes up a level, and we can change our minds then. Palmer is the only player who has hit the level that Chelsea require. So for me, I wouldn't be. I know what you're saying. They need a striker. I think they're going to sign a striker, irrespective of looking at Morgan Rodgers. I think there is the possibility. Listen, don't look beyond them signing Sancho and then loaning him out of an obligation to buy for a slightly higher fee. That wouldn't surprise me at all. I don't care as long as we get our money, right? I don't think he has a future at their football club. Madueke has been spoken about a few times as maybe and potentially moving on. We know they want more wide players, though. We know that because they tried to get Garnacho. And as much as I would like Chelsea to give me £60 million for Garnacho so we can go and get Cunha, at the end of the day, Morgan Rodgers in the Premier League is a superior player. So we know they want players. And I think why Morgan Rodgers would be so amazing for Chelsea is that he can play the attacking midfield role. He can also go out wide. And it would create, you have him and Palmer, doesn't matter where they start on the graphics, one in the middle, one on the right, and have them rotating and moving, feeding and working with one another with the ball. Do you know how much of a headache that is for defense? Now, they do need the striker, and I think the striker is going to be Delap. But them two, between them, can feed the lap. Morgan Rodgers this season, 14 goals and 13 assists. The level of output is very, very good. Very, very good from him. And they need that from more of the accompanying members of the attack, not just their centre forward, in my personal opinion.
Do you think it'd be a good shout for Arsenal, Rodgers?
Morgan Rodgers would be an excellent...
for any team.
He would be an excellent player. The only listen, I think... It's interesting because when you look at his heat map, it's very similar to Odegaard's. Now, Odegaard's an 8, and you wouldn't call Morgan Rodgers an 8, but I don't go with the position that people start on the graphics. I go with where they pick up the ball and where they play. Morgan Rodgers getting that ball in the areas that Odegaard does, the way he works with Saka, I think he could do the intricate play to a decent level. But what he could add to Arsenal is how many times does Odegaard get the ball and have a chance to drive forward, but he cuts back and spins because he hasn't got the speed and power to get away from anybody. The amount of times... Exactly. Imagine Morgan Rodgers getting the ball in that position and just powering through teams and defenses. He adds to Arsenal, to Chelsea, wherever he goes, he adds a dynamic that most of those top teams don't have. Good on the ball, good goal scorer, but he's a ball carrier as well. So that for both teams, I think he would be a phenomenal piece of business. He's 22 years of age as well. He's experienced. Listen, I'd be pissed if either Arsenal or Chelsea get him. I really would.
I
don't know. We jumping the gun about this guy. He just kind of break onto the scene this season. Are we not doing a little bit too much with him? I think he's a good player, quality player, but the way you lot are talking about him is like he's phenomenal and he's got a proven track record. He's really just blew on the scene this season. Don't you think we should give it a little bit of time, no?
I mean, if you
how old is he? How old is he?
22.
I don't know, man. I don't know yet. He's definitely a good player and he's had an incredible season, but I think it's early, man. I think we see what he does at Aston Villa for one more year and then.
I mean, he's been at Villa for what, a year and a half now? He joined in January last season. At a decent end of the season.
I personally don't think he'll leave this summer. I think if he does, it'll be the following summer.
It all depends on the PSR thing they've got, because apparently, like, the wage bill's dead high, and it's all.
They're talking about selling Ollie Watkins, aren't they?
Yeah, but I feel like it's a case of if a club gets in there, if Villa don't get the offers come in for certain players, like with Newcastle last year, how they were willing to sell us Gordon at the back end because you have to make it. You can't afford the points.
They sold Anderson and all, didn't they?
Yeah. They eventually got the right offers in, but I feel like with Villa, if the offers don't come in for Watkins, or I think Emi Martinez was another one with like Saudi interest or whatever.
Yeah,
if those offers don't come in, then they might have to sit there and go, we might have to bite the bullet here on selling Rodgers and use the excess money that we get to find his replacement.
The thing is, if they do sell Rodgers, who are they, and Watkins is likely to go, who do they build their project around?
that's where for them to figure out. I mean, I still think maybe that would be the point where Jacob Ramsey can finally become the player that he was mooted to be from a couple of years ago when he was.
Isn't Ramsey? I think he's even older than, isn't he?
Yeah, he is. He is, but I feel like since 2022, he struggled a bit for consistent game time, and they'll always find a way. Do I think they'll sell Rodgers? Probably not. I'm sure they'll find someone to sell and level out with PSR. But if he becomes available, I think every single top club in the Premier League should be all over him, because a player of his profile, with the way the game's going, the fact that it's a very transitional game now, it's all about how quick you are in moments where you win the ball back. Not only is he one of the best pressers in the league, he's so decisive in transition. He seems to make the correct decision most of the time, and that's one of the most underrated assets. So if Chelsea get him, I'd be really annoyed. If Arsenal get him, I'd be very annoyed. I'd love for us to be in for him, because I think he, the title says world-class winger. Morgan Rodgers is closer to that than Coman is.
Do you think he starts in the 10 for you?
He could start in the 10 or he could start on the left. I think it'd be very interesting to see what we do with Szoboszlai at that point.
Yeah, I agree.
I wouldn't be shocked if we ended up seeing both of them start at one point, and then you just have a midfield four, because we did that at a point this season where we had Jones.
Wait, hold on, Tom. Did you just say Rodgers is closer to world class than Kingsley?
At this point in time, yes. At this point in time, Morgan Rodgers is closer to a world class footballer than Kingsley Coman is. Interesting. Morgan Rodgers, the type of guy you spend 100 million quid on. He is 100%.
Based on 18 months at Aston Villa.
Based on the level he's shown this year in the Champions League and in the Premier League, and the fact that he is the age he is, you're always going to pay a bit more than him, a bit more for him, should I say, sorry, because of the English tax. But the type of footballer, he's unique. He's a unique footballer.
I think if you lot get him, I think it's a good deal because he's not necessarily going to have to start every game for you lot, because you've got quite a bit of competition.
What's your problem with footballers under the age of 23? You probably think Yamal's. You need to wait another year for Yamal, don't you?
Look, no, definitely not Yamal. It's not my issue with up and coming players. My issue is what are they coming to do? Like, for example, KJ mentioned Delap. If Delap's he's definitely a decent second striker, but he's not a main man. Rodgers, I don't know if he's ready to be the main man at a big club yet. Doing what he's doing at Aston Villa, yeah, he's done it.
What are you saying? Give him another year.
Yeah, give him another year. Then we don't need to rush it. Yeah, we don't need to rush it unless you're buying him as someone that's going to compete with someone like at Liverpool, which works. I think that makes a lot of sense. But to be at Chelsea, you kind of be signing him to be a main man.
You need to do though, Kingsley, because if you don't get Rodgers this season, let's say the PSR concerns are real. If you don't get him this season, they sort their concerns out. You might not get him for the next 3 years then. And your window of opportunity
goes on and has another
your window of opportunity
my
might
issue is
pass.
not signing Rodgers. It's just what are we signing him? What are we signing him as? To do what? Level raiser or someone to compete?
I do get your point. This is the issue with it, though, isn't it? Like, so for instance, I know that he's a lot more money than Caicedo at £4 million, but look what he's worth now. This is one of the reasons why sometimes you've got to move a little bit earlier. And Arsenal tried a few of these, and they didn't all work. When you went for Lokonga, there was a lot of hype coming out of Belgium about him as an example. There are others, you've just got to, sometimes you've got to bite the bullet. And if Morgan Rodgers has another season like this, though, next year, then you're looking at even more money, and it might be impossible. Isak is probably the standout example. He was always seen by, I remember doing the streams, and it might have cost 50, 60, 70 million. I remember watching Arsenal fans go, yeah, but Havertz is just more proven, and Isak hasn't played in the Premier League yet. That would have been the much better investment of your money. And now to get him, you're looking at 150 million. I would say for Chelsea and everybody else. And I get your challenge. If you as a fan, if you're not convinced by a player, I understand the challenge around, are they really worth it? My personal feeling is I don't think Morgan Rodgers is a one-season wonder. I think the skill set he has, the way he delivers, the way he scores, I think he'll be able to replicate that for a number of seasons to come. He's just over the next 2 to 3 years going to get more and more expensive as he hits his mid-20s. So I think if a team is going to buy him, now is probably the right time before he cements himself as that top-level consistent player, I suppose. But yeah.
I hear it.
I like him. I do like him a lot. I like him a lot. But no, listen, I hear your point as well. I think it holds water in terms of an argument. We have also seen players get hyped up after a good season and then not be so great a year or so later. So it's not as though you're talking like absolute craziness. Do you know what I mean?
People in the chat are saying about Eze. Which maybe going to Villa as a replacement for Rodgers.
I think Rodgers is better than Eze. I'm such a big fan of Morgan Rodgers' game.
I think Eze.
I think what he does is so good.
I reckon Eze is another Madison, mate. Personally, that makes sense.
If he balls out in the semi-final tonight and bags a couple of goals, my disrespect to Madison is silent for a couple of weeks.
Not Bodoe Glimt. Oh no, that's his level. The Norwegian League.
Nothing wrong with that, mate. Nothing wrong.
We beat them with Marquinhos and Nketiah, bro. Come on, you gotta beat these guys.
I think Eze's one of them ones that kind of. Eze's like
a
Zaha. I think Eze's kind of like a Zaha. He excels at being the main guy for the mid-table club. But if he had to go,
works for us then, didn't he?
Yeah, that's where you.
No, him at Villa, like that's even Brighton, like something like even Forest taking an Eze if they can push on for the season that they've had. Do you get me? But I don't know at the top 4 clubs. Eze's not the guy.
I just don't think he's. I just don't think he's 100% there as a top level Premier League.
There's something missing, right? He can turn it on. Don't get it twisted, but there's just something missing from there.
He's got good numbers over the past 3 seasons, though.
Yeah, his number, like I said, Zaha always had good numbers, but it's more so about the play style. I just think Eze's suited to being the main guy. There's no top 4 club that he joins where he goes in as the main guy. And if he has to be like this auxiliary piece where he's setting up someone or he's being the guy to play the pass, which plays the pass, I think you waste a bit of his game. I think he needs to be the guy that you're building around and playing to and playing off of type thing. I just don't think he's going to be that at the top 4 club.
He would just turn into like what's his name? That guy that used to play for Everton that plays for
Ross Barkley.
Yeah. Like he was really attacking minded at Everton. Like he was the main man. Went to Chelsea and he was a DM for a couple of seasons, and now he's remembered that he knows how to attack again. Like I think Eze, the same thing could happen to him if he's in that restricted role.
I thought he would have ended up at Spurs last season. He sat in a box at the Tottenham's stadium like 7-8 times, flirting with the director of football. He's like friends with his agent. Like that's a deal Tottenham. He's got a year left on his contract. That's a deal that Tottenham should be all over.
Is he going to be free this summer?
No, it'll be the following year.
Well, 1 year left. Yeah, I think he's a really talented player. Having said that, a lot of people weren't too sure whether or not whether Elise would fly when he left. Some people were. I was convinced he'd be a good player. Some people are, what will he do at a bigger club? Because it is harder when your team sit deeper, less room to move into. He's improved. He's gone to another level. He's got he has got better players passing in the ball. He's crossing and passing the ball to better players. He's working with better managers, and he has thrived in that environment. And that there is a chance that Eze could do the same thing. You put him in a team with better footballers, even better coaches, and it's even the training can improve you, because someone was saying to me the other day, why can't Amarim train your team to be better at being press resistant when you're up against athletic teams? It's okay. Who does he use in training to replicate the athletic speed of those good pressing teams? Your players. We don't have anyone who's that fast. So you can't. When a boxer's like having a fight, they have to bring in sparring partners that replicate that individual. But if they're going up against like a Canelo, there is no one that can replicate Canelo because he's so good. So if we have a squad of players that don't have a front 3 or a front 5 that's as fast as Bournemouth's or as fast as Liverpool's, you can't train for it directly. You've got to look at new ways. Equally, it works in the other way. You can be a good player. You suddenly go to training every day and you're surrounded by the bare minimum is good, but most players are top class, world class, phenomenal. It can improve you. I think Eze is someone that someone should have taken a risk on him, in my opinion, a lot sooner than they have personally. Just my personal thoughts on that. But I think he's a player. But there were some reports today that Arsenal were looking at him.
I think it'd be a good signing for Arsenal. Like he's a 10 with output, and that's what you need.
No, man.
Your 10s.
Do we have a 10? Please don't get me
I
started
mean,
about that guy. We don't have a 10,
if you were to put him in the position that Captain Fantastic plays, he'd at least run forward. He'd at least try and play the passes that you want.
I think even Maddison in that position would have done better this season.
Well, let's not get too ahead of ourselves.
Yeah. Oh, you always have to take it one step too far.
I did want to ask you, as it's transfers, we've done a lot of shows on Tuesday about your game Tuesday night, and we're not going to dwell on that too much again because I think we've done about 3 or 4 videos on it, and the viewers will get bored of talking about the game again. But Odegaard specifically, do you need an upgrade on him in your opinion? Do you need to go out this summer? Because today you're linked to Rayan Cherki, who again pops up in similar positions. The guys I just mentioned, Eze, Morgan Rogers' name is out there. Do you think it's an area that you need to improve on if Arsenal are going to go to that next level?
Nah, 100%. Like to the point where the Odegaard thing is weird for me because he's not a shit player. He's not just become a bad player. His decision making this season has just been off for me. I don't know if that's something that can be fixed. But what I do know is he's very comfortable in his position. Like what you saw on the other night, 90 minutes, he wasn't hooked off the team when he could have been hooked at half time, for goodness sake. Like we carried him through both Madrid games. We've kind of carried him all season. I said to Arsenal fans, if he can give me 3 great performances, i.e. the 2 Champions Leagues and the final, then I can give everything he's done this season. But he's been missing. I don't know if it's the sleepless nights since he's become a father. Who knows? Like because that seemed to have coincided with his form dipping. I don't know if he can handle it. Maybe he's doing the night run too much. I don't know, but he's making stupid decisions. So yeah, I definitely believe he needs to be challenged. Is it the end for him? I don't agree because like he's still young enough to find his feet again because we've seen what he can do. But he needs to be challenged. He needs to know that if he has 2 stinkers, there's someone that can replace him. So we definitely need to do something in that area, 100%.
Do you think the captaincy might be holding them back a bit? Because some players struggle with the armband. Some players thrive off it, but some players seem to struggle with the responsibility and it affects their game. Do you think it might be a case we need to take it off him?
I was talking about this like earlier on in the season. I said, is it basically weighing him down too much? Because you remember the season that he got the captain's armband like fully. That's Xhaka's last season. Xhaka was kind of the captain that season. Do you get what I'm saying? Like he was kind of rallying the troops, and Odegaard was just leading by example on the pitch or whatever, so he could just focus on scoring goals, whatever. Since Xhaka's left, I think he's trying to take on that role, but I don't think it comes natural enough to him. Like, and maybe it might be weighing on him a little bit too much. Maybe, and he's overthinking. I don't know. I don't know.
The captain's got to be the guy who is there every game, giving 100%.
Yeah.
The biggest thing I can put on him at the minute is whenever anyone talks about this Arsenal team, it's Declan Rice and his Arsenal boys, or it's Bukayo Saka and his Arsenal boys. It's not the captain.
Give it to Rice or Gabriel.
Look, you see,
there's
my
players
biggest
in that
issue
team
with
that
him.
can take the captaincy and thrive. Rice showed he could be a captain, a trophy-winning captain at West Ham. And I understand he's only been there 2 years now, but how long had Odegaard been at Arsenal before he got the captaincy? I feel like it almost needs to be a case of, for him, it's like he's playing the weight on him. It's like he's playing with the worry of I can't make any mistakes because it's tenfold on me.
Even this is when it really dawned on me about the weight of this captaincy. I don't like the FA Cup game against Man United. Like I was screaming, Odegaard, you're not informed. Do not take this penalty, bro. You're missing. Like he thought, I'm the captain. I got to step up. I would have given that to Jorginho, man. Make a decision, like an executive decision. He's on form. He's a great penalty taker. Let him take that. I thought maybe the pressure is getting a little bit too much for him. I don't know what needs to be done, but we need support. We need an option that can come in and vice captain. I think Gabriel.
Obviously, he's out injured at the moment.
Can I just say something? I'll say this now, right? A captain. This is the thing. A lot of times, I feel like a captain is something people sleep on. How important a captain is to a team. You understand what I'm saying, right? Because captains, like the term "leading by example" is not just a phrase. Like sometimes certain captains, when you are a captain that doesn't show up in big moments or shirk during big moments, at the end of the day, it's a representation for me of where your team is. And the thing with Odegaard is, the thing with Odegaard is, I don't know, maybe he's a great motivational speaker in the locker rooms or something, because even for his country, he's the captain, right? But really, he Norway have never done well under him, right? Since he's been the captain of their team. You understand what I'm saying, right? So, and also you're right, he just goes missing in big moments.
The best player? They pick the captain, isn't it?
What's that?
One of those. They pick the captain, maybe the African way. Whoever the best player is in the team just becomes the captain, and that's why he's probably captain for Norway.
I think it's interesting. Different nations treat captaincies very, very, very differently, and I don't know. I'm not going to be able to anecdotally remember exact. I've heard people say, "Well, where I'm from, there's loads of captains. No one cares." But we know in England a big thing is made about it. So I think it does create a pressure. Rightly or wrongly, it creates a pressure. You can be a captain without wearing the armband. Declan Rice is a leader without wearing the armband. You can see the way he operates as a person. If you look back at the great Chelsea and great Man United teams in the Premier League era, I think there was a time, I remember reading that there was sort of something like 7 or 8 international captains in the first team of both those. Like they were captains of their respective countries. You've got people that are natural born leaders. I do think some people, though, allow I'm the captain to get to their head,
and that is the thing, isn't it, Terry?
We had it with Harry Maguire. Yes. Harry Maguire allowed I'm the captain of Man United. It was almost like it made him overthink his performances. And up until he became captain, he hadn't done too bad a job at the club. He got the captaincy, and he became a consistent bozo. I know he's been the captain a while now, Odegaard, but there's just something about it that's off. But if you remove the captaincy, I think you do need to improve on him. And this isn't a dig, but this is where I think I go back to a very, you could call it famous or infamous video that I made in the summer of 2022, where I said, and I was actually at the day I released that, I was with Henry and Tom. We had a Football Terrace party, actually, the day that video came out, where I said, Arsenal scare me. And what I spoke about in that video is that I felt that they were about to turn a corner and become title contenders. And one of the interesting things I said in the video, because I watched it back a few weeks ago, because I don't remember word for word what I said, but something that stood out to me is that I said Arsenal within the next season or two, they will either start winning stuff with this captain, with this manager, or they'll be right on the edge and maybe they'll need to upgrade on the manager and certain individual players. And it feels like Arsenal are at that crossroads. And I think Arsenal fans, and it's your club, so treat it however which way you want. But I know that Odegaard has helped lead you out from the pits. He's helped to get you out, along with a number of other players, including this manager. You have gone from being Banter FC, a laughing stock with no hope, and now you are this close to being a team that's winning the major trophy. So I get the affinity, the affection, and the love that you feel for these players, your captain, your manager. But you look at the players you're linked to at the minute, the Cherkis of this world. Doesn't mean you sell Odegaard potentially, but I think you have to bring a player into your club that has the ability from day one to bench him. One, as they say, pressure either bursts pipes or it creates diamonds. And I think you need to put that pressure upon an Odegaard. I think competition for Saka's different. He needs players that can rest him, but still he needs to be pushed. There was a reason you guys tried to sign Rafinha when he went to Barcelona. There's a reason for that. And I think the Arsenal fans, as much as you love, doesn't mean you got to slag Odegaard off. Doesn't mean you got to, be nasty about him and call him names. But I think you bring in someone like a Cherki, your creativity levels go up, your squad depth improves, and you become a much more dangerous football team. So I think you definitely need an upgrade, 100%.
I agree with that, and it also gives us the opportunity to, if at halftime it's not working, we can hook him. Like, it doesn't seem that like Arteta has the confidence in what he has on the bench to, when it's not working, he just plays him till the last minutes, like we saw, and he just keeps, maybe he'll figure it out. And as you said, he's not become a bad player, but I don't know what's going on with his decision making.
You guys you got Fabio Vieira was meant to be the guy that challenged him, but it didn't work out. There's been no replacement yet. The one thing with keeping Odegaard on that is frustrating just as a football fan, Bruno Fernandes is one of those footballers that can stink, but then he bangs in a free kick, or you get a penalty and the likelihood of him scoring is very high, or he scores the winning goal.
Yeah.
Odegaard, historically in his career, he mainly scores and creates when he's in great form. So leaving him on, it's almost, if he was someone that always comes up with
counter-
goals.
See, that's the important thing. Terry.
Quickly. I just want to say, in terms of that comment particular, Terry, like that's the biggest issue I have with Odegaard. Bruno, as much as people like to diss him, he's willing to do whatever it takes to try and win that game. What if it's ugly, pretty, like no matter what, I'm ready to do anything to win that game. And when things aren't pretty and we need someone to do something, Odegaard's never there. When it's slick and nice and sexy, like the football, like that's when he starts to look good.
You don't need to buy anyone though. You don't need to buy. You've got the perfect guy right there in your squad in Nwneri. The perfect guy there.
Yeah,
someone who's ready to take these minutes and thrive and boom. Because we've seen this season how many young players, when they get their opportunities, are taking them and dragging some historic great teams to even better heights because of their energy, because of their style of play, because of their fearlessness. When Nwneri was playing for Arsenal, when you had all them injuries, he was by far and away your most exciting, most threatening player. And then everyone came back, and he's now basically been relegated to 5-minute sub appearances.
Which doesn't make any sense, Tom, does it? Because at the end of the day, you know, what does this show to the youngsters at the club? Like, no matter how well we play, it doesn't matter. Like, once the key players come back, we'll just be packed back into the bench. You understand what I'm saying?
I hear what you're saying,
that's the thing.
But you could just say, look what he's done with Skelly, so you can't really say that, man. And
I mean, but this is the thing.
I hear you.
No, but if you look at Skelly's position, there's not if you look at the players who play in Lewis Skelly's position, they are in such a bad form, right, that he can't technically be taken out, right? But with Nwneri, right, he plays where in Saka's position and unusually Odegaard's position, and these are like two of your key players. So if these players are injured or something goes wrong with them, all right, that's the only way Nwneri is going to be given an opportunity, which is not right, because you just mentioned about how bad Odegaard is in playing. If Odegaard is not in good form, and Nwneri has shown when he's been given opportunity that he can do well, I think Nwneri should replace Odegaard if Odegaard is not playing well. You understand what I'm saying? And that's the thing. This is the point I just want to say. At the end of the day, I get to your point about sometimes the best player being the captain and all that. But here's the thing sometimes. I think that when it comes to being a captain, it's not about being the best player. It's being the most irreplaceable player in the squad, whether you're one of the key players or not. If you look at Liverpool under Klopp, the reason why a guy like Henderson was the captain is because whether you rated Henderson or not, he was always in the team. You understand what I'm saying? They always bought a lot of key. Like, there were so many better players who were in the team that were better than him, but his impact in that Liverpool team couldn't be replaced. That's why he was the captain, because he was the irreplaceable person in that team, right? So I think that a captain, that's what they're supposed to be in the team. And Odegaard, whether you like it or not, his form, the way he performs, you just mentioned it. Bruno Fernandes, as much as I don't rate the guy, the guy, when he stinks, can still get you a goal or assist or both. You understand what I'm saying, right? That is irreplaceable. That's someone that you look at and you say, well, listen, as much as I don't like this guy for 90 minutes, I know that he can get me a goal or assist at the end of the game. You understand what I'm saying? Odegaard can't give you the same. Odegaard, when he's in bad form, he stinks. Like, he's literally doing nothing. Look at that game against PSG. Look at the numbers he was putting. Like, that was ridiculous.
People, just because we won the games, people are ignoring the Real Madrid games. He actually was stinking in both of those games, man. But people didn't really want to talk about it because we won the games and stuff. I hear it, but he needs to fix up.
Odegaard needs criticism. The questions need to be asked about the manager, though, because this isn't the first time that I've seen a player. This has been a consistent thing under Arteta, whether he's been good or bad. He sticks by players too much. There's too much loyalty to certain players.
He thinks everyone's going to play into form. Everyone.
Odegaard needs to come out of the firing line. He's not going. He's come back from that injury, in October? So October to May, he has not been able to play himself into form. He's not going to play himself into form now. The player who was playing himself into form and was bright and was the difference maker was Nwneri. I don't get why Nwneri is now all of a sudden being relegated to 0 minutes again. Whenever he plays, he's massively massively threatening, and that's what Arsenal need because Saka is still not 100%. He's been good since he's come back. I'm not saying he hasn't, but he's still not 100%. He's not the Saka that we're seeing at the start of the season. So what he needs is a guy who's also got that energy and that fearlessness to take a bit of a load off him, because all Odegaard's doing is put more pressure on those in front of him to turn up, because they know the captain's not. Rice has to do more work because he knows Odegaard's not going to help me here. The defenders, if your captain is week in, week out one of the worst players on the pitch, but footballers aren't stupid. They're going to look at him and start going, why is he the captain?
We've seen Saka and Nwneri on the pitch together for 5 minutes since he's got back.
I mean, and that ball almost fell to him. I just thought when I saw that, I was like, again, just as an outsider looking in, you're thinking, why didn't you give him 20 more minutes? Just 20 minutes. I mean, it would have, and you needed more legs because your legs went. Just on that quickly before we get onto some other topics. Do you think you'll come back? Do you think what's your gut telling you right now is going to happen in Paris, your homeland?
Right now, I think strangely, I think
it's a home game, isn't it?
We win 2-1 and it goes to penalties, and I don't know how that goes personally. I think
if it goes to penalties, you've lost. That's Donnarumma's bread and butter. That
I don't know.
That's what he lives off.
I can see it. I think with Partey in the midfield, it looks like a completely different game personally. So I'm confident we can get a win, but I don't know if we can win by 2 clear goals. That's my only issue.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I hear you. I think it's going to be interesting. I don't think it's over yet. I don't think it's over.
It could have been over with
it's only over because it's Arsenal that's lost 1-0. I've never heard any such.
I will say this: the way your fans have reacted to that result, it may well be over because your fans have written it off.
Yeah, it's disgusting.
But you're 1-0 down. All you need to do to take it to extra time is match the result we got over in Paris, and you're apparently better than us, so it shouldn't be that difficult. But I'm seeing your fans sit there and go, "Oh, it's done. It's dusted. Season over. Yada yada yada." Where's the faith in the team? Where's the faith in your players? Where's the faith in Arsenal on a European stage to say this is our moment? Every single team, every single top team, and I'm including Tottenham in this somehow because they've got one. Every single top team in England has a big European comeback. That's one of the key makings of you. You have your big European comeback where you show your mentality. This is Arsenal's chance. Semi-final to take you to a final. A final which you've got a really good chance of winning. Where's that mentality?
Tom, though, I hear you on that. I think that might play into Arsenal's hands, though. I feel... Is the right word histrionics? Is that when you build something up and make it really... Am I thinking of the right word? I'm actually going to Google the word now, because you know when you say a word, then you're like, I don't know if histrionics...
That don't sound like a word, to be fair, but
no, it means theatrics and dramatics and everything else. I think there was to attract attention, and I do think there was a lot of histrionics. I think there was a lot of the speech by Arteta. I didn't get the time. I haven't had the time to do it. I've had a lot of things going on at home. I was going to go down to London just to wind up my trolls and film like a Robbie Speaks walking around the Emirates. I'm not even an Arsenal fan, just for a bubble. And I didn't. The only reason I didn't do it is I've got a lot of other things on at the moment. When I saw I didn't see the Arteta video until the next day because I saw a guy on AFTV whose name I don't know, unfortunately, who spoke about how he felt the occasion was made too big, and the players played the occasion, the fans played the occasion. That's why the goal went in. And it was almost, that was against the script. This is rubbish now, as an example. And I almost feel, Tom, that Arsenal kind of writing themselves off a little bit, as long as the players aren't doing it. So I'll be fair about that. I think the less noise, the better. I just a gut feeling on it. Just the less noise. I felt the same about Real Madrid. Real Madrid made so much noise before the Arsenal second leg. I just couldn't see him coming back. They made it bigger than the game was, and I don't necessarily think that's a great thing to do as a sports team, as a club, as fans. So maybe I think it might play into their hands this time. You know,
I think Arsenal
last time we played PSG in a semi-final, we won. So
Arsenal built everything up for that. I know it's a bit off topic, but Arsenal built everything up for that semi-final. All the promotional videos, all this, that, and the other. You had the Adidas thing with Ian Wright and everything, all built up. And I know it's a bit of a sort of weird thing. I was told about this tifo, and Arsenal turned down a fan-made tifo because they've got a mega one coming up, and then the tifo was sagging, and it was just a photo of a cannon. Ooh, like Crystal Palace put on better ones every other week.
Our one's probably gonna be embarrassing, so I won't worry about it.
Like Arsenal this season, it's something that I felt for a number of years now.
This is what crazy, right? I'm going to go back to you, Tom. I'm very sorry to interject. This is, in case anyone hasn't seen it, this is what Arsenal. I'm going to upload it now. Sorry, it was about to upload, then it bloody didn't. StreamYard's just awful, right? So this here, what I'm about to put on the screen is what they rejected. They rejected these. I think they look quite good, personally. This is what they ended up with.
Ooh, the scaredy cannon. Ooh.
Yeah. And the thing is, because of the size of your stadium, because of the way it moves round, you can do it. You can kind of do it the way we did it at Old Trafford, because it's square and it kind of fits in that space and there's flares. You need things either side of it. And like I was looking at some other ones that I don't even know what club this is, right? But for me, even Man United, I thought was really good. We had flares and smoke and things around it. But I think if you're going to do them, they have to be this level or not at all. That is what they should be. Right. Or because you could have done this, right? You could have had Arteta with Wenger and George Graham behind him. You could have had some monument. You could have had the Emirates and Highbury Stadium, maybe Big Ben because it's in London. You could have had all green, blue, red and white smoke coming up. You could have done something for your club that would be amazing. But you put a picture of a cannon up there, bruv. It's a madness.
And the cannon itself started sagging after 10 seconds of being up, and one side started falling down. But I feel like Arsenal, this season and last season, anytime there was a game where there was an ounce of pressure, it got built up to be this monumental thing. It's almost like Arsenal don't know. Arsenal are a historic club. They're the third most successful club in England. And yet, in recent years, they've acted like they've never been in big situations before. They big everything up, and I know sometimes it's worked. Like you did a promotional video for Real Madrid and you beat them 3-0. You did a promotional video for Man City, you beat them 5-1. But you've also done promotional videos like Man City away this year and you drew 2-2. And last year you were doing promotional videos and you were drawing this notion that everything's bigger than it should be. I can't remember.
You know what it is, Tom? You know what it is? The reality
you don't act
is
like you've been here before.
What it is, a lot of the representation of Arsenal on social media is like fans that really need the validation. So every time we do something good, rather than just enjoying that Arsenal have done something good, they need to hear it from everyone else first, innit? So which results in them doing extraordinary things unnecessarily on social media when we do something good. It's very frustrating to watch, but I can't control my fan base, and it is what it is. I think we should just enjoy ourselves. It is what it is. People love chatting shit about Arsenal, and that is what it is. Fuck it, enjoy it, and fucking win a trophy. Then
I will say that my favorite thing I've seen in the aftermath of that Arsenal PSG game is an Arsenal fan saying that you should ban drums from stadiums because we couldn't create an atmosphere over the drum. You had like a massive percentage advantage, but at one drum going dum 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 was apparently enough to quieten you down.
No, I remember calling out West Ham fans when they said, "Oh, the new stadium, there's no atmosphere here, man," and I laughed because I was a very lucky man indeed. I was living still in the East End at the time, and I managed through my job at the time to wangle 2 tickets for what ended up being Super Saturday in the Olympic Stadium during the Olympics. So I sat in that stadium and it brought tears to my eyes, where in the space of, it may have been longer, but it felt within the space of 10 minutes, Rutherford, Jessica Ennis, and I want to say Mo Farah, all won gold medals in the space of 10 minutes. Nothing like we'd ever experienced in British athletics before. The noise. And that isn't diehard football fans that are often a little bit more assertive. That was just a mixture of men, women, children. It was, and the noise, the building was vibrating. And I always remember, I'm not directly blaming West Ham fans, but it's no, your stadium can create an atmosphere. I've been there, but you need to create it. You need to do it. You could have drowned out the noise of those fans if 60,000 of your supporters, or 55,000, however many were Arsenal, sung for 90 minutes and kept on shouting, you'd have drowned them out. You guys control that. And look, we can't tell people what to do, but don't blame drums. Don't blame them being noisy on you being quiet. You be noisy. Like you can, you can control. It's hard though nowadays.
2 seasons
but
ago, Arsenal had one of the best atmospheres in the country. That first year where they finished second under Arteta, the atmosphere at the Emirates was electric. And then it's just died since.
Arrogant now. We expect it.
You guys should just come get what's his name to just keep playing his guitar in the crowd. Just like North London. Just keep playing it. Do you know what I mean? Just keep doing it. Do what Liverpool do. Get your club to turn the speakers on so that artificially make the sound. Do what Liverpool do to make Anfield sound like it's actually noisy. But no, they've got to do something. Some super chats here. First one said, "This is why Arsenal will always be a banter club, PRFC. Would you ever see Liverpool or City making a trailer for a Champions League night?" I think they haven't, they?
It depends what you call a trailer. I never saw Jurgen Klopp stand in the centre of Anfield go, "Bring your boots, bring your shin pads. We need you all." I might take a couple of drone shots of Anfield and a bit of a commentary.
I suppose it depends what you mean, because I suppose I see all clubs making trailers now. Like I thought Newcastle was amazing in the build up to the semi-final second leg, where it was just some bloke at the top of the stadium playing the saxophone for the noise they come out to. I just thought that was really cool. I suppose everyone's doing them now, aren't they? I don't know.
Look, Terry, the reality is we cannot control what our clubs get into.
We've done one tonight. We're playing fucking Bodoe.
They're just gonna do shit like, which club until this team doesn't do one until they actually do one. Like, and then what are we gonna say?
What's your one for tonight? What's your one, Henry?
It's just Berg, Val, Ange, and Maddison essentially talking over Europa League highlights, saying that our little slogan is to dare is to do, and now they've changed it to do.
God. Henry, I was trying to pick up your club saying you've at least got standards. What the fuck is it? Why have you got Maddison in black and white doing like this?
I just saw that this morning.
He's turned up against Frankfurt, won the penalty.
I need to see it.
My God.
It was scored tonight.
That video was hilarious.
What? Because when I think of Arsenal, I'm sitting there going like, Arteta standing in the centre circle doing his, you must bring your shin pads and your...
he hasn't done anything like that. It's just previous interviews.
You've got James Maddison stood in black and white.
Is that why Yardman brought his boots to the ground?
I mean, Arteta did say he wanted the fans to bring the shin pads and their boots and the kits and everything, and we've got to create this atmosphere.
See what this thing is, yeah? All these things seem so stupid. When you don't
is it a North London thing?
Like,
if we had beat
PSG, people would be calling him revolutionary, isn't it? So it is what it is, man.
But that's part of the problem, though. You build yourselves up, and yet he's never live up to it. Act like you've been here before.
Ours is pretty bad, to be fair. I'm watching it at the moment.
But it's like all these things. If you win tonight, Henry, and go on to win it, no one's going to care that you. It's like anything. I think a lot of these things have happened before. Like, I remember Brendan Rodgers. You remember when he did the whole? I haven't got any envelopes in it, but yeah, the envelope.
The envelope thing.
And he's like, yeah, this is an envelope. He was like, this envelope here, there's the name of a player in here who's going to let us down by the end of the season. And at the end of the season, I'm going to show, I know who it's going to be. And those envelopes are always empty. And he got absolutely massacred for it by people. That is stupid. Turns out Fergie did that in the first Premier League season. So it's, and then you get, but Fergie's a winner. Yes. But so is it the practice that so it's obviously not the action you've got an issue with, it's the person doing it. So therefore, I do get where you're coming from. You guys come back against PSG and no one's going to care. Like, it's just, you got to win the game. It's like anything though, like fighters go through this. When you speak, you got to win. Atletico Bilbao, they've actually done a really respectful one, because Bilbao really do respect Man United's history. They've done a thing of, it's actually crazy how much their stadium has been designed to look like Old Trafford. And they did a thing where they basically say we're twins, and it's quite cool. Then they've done another one where it's us celebrating goals, and then it does that music where it just goes dong, and it's them celebrating, and they're basically saying, yeah, you're coming here now, you're getting beat. They've got to win now. They can't not win after doing that, as I'm sure the Spanish press will get to them. This here says Arsenal has, excuse me, I drank sparkling water. Arsenal has the worst fan base. They are the most reactive, reacts to every result with hyperbole and overreactions. Find scapegoats in players. Look, I don't listen. I hear you. There'll be Arsenal fans that we doing that. I don't think Odegaard has been scapegoated though, and I'll tell you as to why. Because for the goal, I saw Declan Rice get criticised as an example. I've seen Trossard and Martinelli be criticised for missing their opportunities. We have seen Odegaard criticised for his overarching performance as an example in this particular game. That for me, you've seen Arteta be criticised for potentially, for not making subs earlier. So therefore, I don't see how there's a scapegoat. What nobody has said on this show as well, Wayne, and I know you respect the Terrace, is Arsenal lost the other night because Odegaard's captain. If Odegaard weren't captain, they'd have won that game 4-0. So if that was the, if people are saying that on other platforms, you know what to do, Wayne. Just don't watch it because that would be nonsense. Wayne also says, so no club does promotion videos for a Champions League semi-final, I guess. No, listen, Wayne, I actually think all clubs are doing it now in one way, shape, or form. What you'll probably find is, I bet if you went, let's just have a look then. Let's see if Barca did one. They're legendary. Did you guys do one on your TikTok, Omar, yesterday?
I'm sure they did.
Let's have a little look, because I think everybody does them. Let's have a little butchers. Probably can't play it, but let's have a little look.
I mean, to be fair, clubs do this all the time. Listen, at the end of the day, let's be real, right? Usually fans are going to be fans. So when a club does this, the fans are going to clown it, especially rival fans. So, it is what it is.
Yeah, they did. Look. I can't probably, it says dream, believe, achieve. And it's like all their great moments from the Champions League. And I'm sure, I don't want to get copyright anyway.
If you want to see cringe, look at the Madrid one. The Madrid one against Arsenal.
Exactly. Everybody's doing.
Lord Almighty, that was so
Madrid
cringe.
turned to Arsenal fans during that Arsenal situation. They
hype up the remontada talk they were doing. It looked like a WWE.
Yeah, but I remember on the top 6 show before that game, we had about a 20-30 minute segment going, what are Real Madrid doing? Standard FC are doing everything that they say they don't do, bringing out all
oh my God, Tottenham's looks like a 1989 music video. It's
See what I mean? This is what I was laughing at.
But this is the thing, though. Again, you go and win tonight and win the Europa League. It's cool, but I'm not saying it's even bad. It's great production value, and they do it because they want the histrionics, they want the attention, they want the clicks, they want people excited about it. And what I will say, I don't think we can create a scenario where only teams that have won, like where's the cutoff point? Is it teams that have won European trophies ever? Well, that means Spurs can do it. Is it have won them in the last 10 years? Is it the last 50? Like, where's the cutoff point for teams that can and can't do it? Anyone who hates them, let us know. If you hate them by and large, cool. But if you're accepting of Barca doing one, what's the cutoff point for a club to not be able to do a promo video? Let us know. Rival fans are obsessed with Arsenal. It's pathetic, is what Ngoni says here. Sar earlier on in the show actually said, is Nwneri ready to lead the press, drop back to relieve pressure during a high press and tell the other players where to stand? No, he isn't ready.
I'm so sorry. No, we're talking about saying Nwneri can't play because he doesn't run. I'm sure if you put Nwneri in that position, he would press. Let's talk about Odegaard's pressing. It's not been good. So you're not missing out on much. And if you put Nwneri in, I'm sure Arsenal could sacrifice 5% of a press if it means their midfielder is better in transition and plays the right passes at the right moments. This idea that we can't have these players who are slightly less strong defensively because, what are we going to do about the press? Is he going to... Nwneri's a smart kid at 17. He knows how to be on the football pitch.
He scored more goals this season in the league than Odegaard has.
Right. Bro, this is the thing, man. I don't get it. I don't know if it's like an English thing, but most of the time it's not as much. There's not as much.
I don't get it.
Like for big clubs, it's not much trust in like some of these youngsters. Especially you look at like this year, you've seen Yamal's rise, Desiree Doué at PSG. Like at the end of the day, Arsenal have a gem in their hands, and they're just taking their time with him, thinking, don't worry about it. We just, at the end of the day, he still got time and he got that. At the end, at some point, you got to give these guys opportunities, and if they're playing well, give them the opportunities to continue playing every single time. You understand what I'm saying?
Omar, the reality is he does have time. The issue is we're in a position where we can't wait for him right now because we need someone to do something now. So we might as well play him. Like, that's the reality. The reality is like,
I hear you.
That's the point.
Yeah. I understand maybe setting, the running of the press. Maybe he's going to make mistakes. The idea, though, that you have to have Odegaard on the pitch to tell people where to stand. Surely the other players can step up and make sure, and the manager, like between them, they can make sure that happens. Move Saka to right central midfield and Nwneri to right wing.
Oh,
Yeah,
no,
makes so much
no,
sense,
no,
James.
my goodness.
That makes
gracious
so
me.
much sense, James. Yeah. Thanks for the
Arsenal have evolved past Odegaard, in my opinion. I think that there could be a bit of truth to that. Rogers here, 33 games, 16 GA, 13 big chances created. Fantastic. Yeah, absolutely fantastic indeed. So there's some games to get into as well that I want to get everyone's views on. Spurs, you still confident? And we're an hour and 15 minutes in. You still think you're going to batter Bozo Glimt tonight?
Yeah.
Bozo Glimt. Sorry,
Yeah.
I said the fake name. Sorry.
Yeah, I think we'll win 3-0 tonight. I am relatively confident. In fact, to say very confident. They have got a terrible away record in the competition so far. Lost to Manchester. If I actually bring up their results, I think they're only 4 games into their league season. It's only started recently because of the weather. They're nowhere near the amount of games lasted. I don't think their squad will be as fit and as ready. I think this season they've lost at home to Karabag in the Europa League, which is poor. They, of course, lost it away to Lazio, although they did go for an aggregate. They lost away to FC 20. They lost away to Olympiacos. I mean, let's be honest. They lost to flipping Dusseldorf. Who are in the second...
Who you lost to this season?
Sorry?
Who you lost to this season?
No, we're not talking about that. We're talking about them. we're talking about them.
Henry,
the only
this is
way
very
game we
simple.
lost
I
in
don't know
Europa
how you
League was
didn't start
against,
with the simplest reason.
Galatasaray. Actually, no, tell a lie. We lost to AZ Alkmaar. So, yeah, anyway, ignore that. But, yeah, they've got...
you've also lost to Leicester, Southampton. You haven't lost Southampton. It's Leicester and Ipswich that you've lost to this season.
Yeah,
you're forgetting the common denominator here. The reason why Henry has the chest he has, and I can appreciate it. Thank you. As in, why are we talking past that? Why are we looking past that?
Second season.
Second season, Ange is a different animal. Business end of the season. I'm gonna follow through and get it done. Look, we all want that final. We all want that final. Like even me as an Arsenal fan, I don't mind seeing it. I don't mind seeing Spurs in the final for the drama that it's gonna bring.
Would it be the lowest quality Europa League final ever? Like genuine. If Man United play Tottenham in the Europa League final this season, are we having conversations about the worst quality Europa League final ever?
Nah. I think
both of them teams are horrendous.
Nah, the build-up would be elite, Tom. Like the
videos
beforehand, the previews.
The build-up for the game and everything would be mega. But I'm just talking pound for pound, putting both teams on the pitch the way they've played this season. Would that be the worst?
There'll be a lot of goals in that final, personally. There'll be a lot of goals in that final, bro. At least 5, I'm saying.
It could be entertaining. But I don't think it'll be the highest standard of football I've ever seen.
I don't think United will be in the final. I think it'll be Spurs Bilbao.
And
I think we've got the chance of us beating Bilbao is very, very, very low. Like it's going to be their own stadium. They're the best team left in the competition. But in terms of Bodoe tonight, they've got their captain, their striker, their best centre back, and their right back all out injured. Let's just be brutally honest. We are winning tonight. We're going to go out there. We're going to score 3 goals.
Famous last words. Right? Famous last words.
I don't think it's famous last words because I don't look at this like we're playing a Premier League opposition. Like I think we'll probably lose to West Ham at the weekend because we're shite in the Premier League. But we went out to Frankfurt, which was better opposition than Bodoe, scored, clean sheet, and defended well. Bodoe Glimt, I mean. Does anyone know any of their players?
But that's the thing, Terry. But Henry, I'm telling you now, do not sleep on Bodoe Glimt. This team for the past few seasons in Europe have been scoring a lot of teams. I think that this mindset that you have is a lot of the same mindset that a lot of these people also have had, because they kind of look at Bodoe Glimt as, oh yeah, this Norwegian team, I don't think they're that good and all that. And again, they do have injuries, but really, Marcus Berg, who's by the way, he's a Norwegian international, and the winger as well. I get those 2 players are suspended for this game. A lot of the core players that they do have in the team, I do actually know a few of their players. The left winger played for AC Milan. He's actually been playing well.
You still have to look down at your paperwork to say their names.
And this is the thing. You may not know a lot of their players, but truth be told, right? Truth be told, Bodo Glimt is actually one of the few teams I would say in Scandinavia who've actually been one of the better teams in Europe. So I'm not saying you're going to lose this tie, but truth be told, if you guys lose the game, like let's say like a 2-1, 3-1, I could see you guys going away there and losing because they've shown they've
if we
beaten teams.
lose 3-1 tonight at home to Bodo Glimt, then we deserve to go out of this competition. We are not going to lose tonight. You're going to see our little light show. You're going to see the tifo. Andy's going to have his chest out. We will win 2 or 3-0 tonight. Madison will turn up. Apparently, Bergval's not in the squad. He's injured. So Kulu will come in. You know, Solanke will score. Madison will score. However, Terry said this at the very, very beginning. If we win 2-1 and we're going over to the Arctic Circle where it's fucking cold on a 3G pitch with only 400 away support, I would be thinking, right, here comes Spursy. If we only go
saw
for
he's on a 3G pitch this season, didn't we? Tamworth or whoever it was. That
yeah,
they ran
we
you
won,
close.
we won there, so who cares?
Won the game, though. Won the game.
I mean,
Yeah, we
you
won
have to go
it.
to extra time against a bunch of plumbers.
Harry, have you ever seen Henry this confident on the terrace ever? Like,
No,
what's
you
going
haven't.
on?
We're playing
Never.
Bodo
What's going on?
fucking Glimt.
Never.
This is someone who's drank the Ange second season.
I've not even drunk yet.
He drank
What's
it
more
all.
likely? What's more likely, Henry? You beating Bodo Glimt tonight, or your missus turning up on the altar?
Tottenham beating Bodo Glimt tonight. Like I look at their team.
Listen, I think you'll win tonight, but like I did say backstage, Tottenham have to win by a minimum 2 clear goals. If you go there with a 1-0 win, a 2-1, a 3-2, and by the way, the higher the goal scoring the game is, the more chance you'll have it going out away, because you will build a confidence into Bodo Glimt. They can score against you. But as you say, 3G pitch, freezing cold weather, barely any fans. Their supporters will be up for it as well, because my cousin played in Norway professionally for the best part of his career. He played for Viking and Start, and they don't get these nights very often. And we went and watched both home and away when he played Chelsea, and their fans, it's everything to them, because they obviously all, you know, if they were playing.
What do you think of Tottenham?
Yeah, if they were playing AZ in this game,
The
or they
global
were,
phenomenon, that.
you know, if they were playing Copenhagen or AZ, they'd be up for it. Of course they would. But they are playing a team that are so recognizable because of the Premier League and everything else, and they'll want that final. So you need at least 2 clear goals to go into the next game. I think a 1-0 win tonight is almost like a loss for you. It needs to be 3. It needs to be by 3 goals.
Terry, if you look at the teams they've played
2 or 3,
recently in Europe, right? Really, right? Especially at home. Their home record is insane. They've beaten teams like Olympiacos, Porto, Besiktas, like a lot of like the teams that we know, right? I mean, we remember
the home record is good, Omar, but their away record.
That's the thing. That is why. I mean, listen, I don't deny their away record is putrid, absolutely, right? But honestly, I can see them coming to your stadium and at least getting a goal. I'm not saying they're going to win, but I can see them losing the game like a 3-1 and going with that 3-1 defeat away to their stadium and probably getting the win over there. I can see them getting like
3-1. They're good, bro. If Spurs win
3-1, do not sleep on this Bodo Glimt team. I feel like that's what a lot of teams have been doing. That's why they're doing so well, because Lazio is one of those teams. Because Lazio, everyone kind of looked at Lazio as the one.
We just need another team talk.
Bilbao. But you saw how they performed in that game.
Omar, I hear what you're saying about teams have kind of taken them for granted, but don't you think maybe these Tottenham are learning from those teams taken for granted? And the fact that it's a semi-final, I don't think any team is going to take any team for granted at this stage. And obviously, big experience and second season trophy. He's going to get them prepared for this game like he's done in the previous second season. So don't sleep on that experience as well, Omar.
This is second season, and
this is not your regular Ange.
There's 3 inevitable things in life: death, taxes, and Ange winning a trophy in his second season. You know, who are we to argue with the man himself?
Do you guys actually think we can win the Europa League?
No,
of course we can.
I tell you what, Bilbao fans are amazing, right?
All this talk about second season.
Listen, Bilbao fans are outside their stadium right now. Fucking thousands of them all singing about. I'll play it for you. Listen to who they're singing about. It's fucking brilliant. Hang on, you play it.
We can't hear it.
Can't hear it?
No.
Can't hear it at all.
No, we can't hear it.
You can't hear it.
How can you not hear it when it's going into my microphone? That's very strange.
Yeah.
It's almost like it's too loud. It cuts off.
Oh, really? Let me play it further away then. Can you hear it now?
Yeah, you can hear the start and then it just goes quiet.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's all good. We'll probably find
Anyway, they're singing about Harry Maguire. It's very strange. But yeah, they're just saying I don't know. They're saying something after his name. I can't make it out. It's probably in Spanish. But yeah, maybe it's because I've got noise reduction on my microphone. It's not working. But yeah, you guys better win tonight. At the end of the day, Man United we're the underdogs in our semi-final. I want to win. I don't want to go out, but everybody's written us off. And if we go out, yes, there'll be banter, of course, but it will hit me a lot less because I just don't personally. Banter never hurts me as much when we get beat by a team that's better than us. Never has done, never will do.
Just a quick question.
Bodoe Glimt, jeez, bruv. If you ain't in that final, burn the fucking club down.
If Tottenham make the final against Manchester United, which club do you think has more pressure on them?
Man United.
Man United have more pressure, but Man United are also more likely to win.
Is that a real question? Like, really?
Well, yeah, but do you not think Tottenham not winning a trophy in 17 years? You know,
everyone's used to that, bro. Everyone's used to that.
Henry, we've.
I think the pressure would be on Tottenham fans. It will be for the fans.
We've had the same pressure against Tottenham since the 2014 League Cup.
Mm-hmm.
It's the same story. Tottenham haven't won a trophy in ages. Is this manager going to be the one to do it? Then you get to the Champions League final. Tottenham haven't won a trophy in ages. Is going to be the ones to do it. FA Cup semi-final. Tottenham haven't won a trophy. That's the only pressure. There's no expectation at Tottenham. There's no goal. The gold standard at Tottenham in recent years is Juan de Ramos.
That's it. Like if we're gonna be 100% honest, I don't think outside of in England, a lot of people really put a lot of pressure on Spurs. I mean, obviously, recently, especially under Pochettino, a lot of people are kind of seeing how well Spurs were playing. You know, obviously,
I think
Champions League, they had good moments, but nobody really looks at Spurs like they look at United, especially in that Europa League. Everyone's going to be looking at United. This is your trophy to win. You understand what I'm saying?
No, we had Park Ji-sung, bro. I still think Park Ji-sung, holds a lot of weight for us still, bruv.
They can't even win that battle. You see?
Yeah. It's Man United because we're not just bigger than Tottenham. We eclipse them in size, and there's always going to be more. There would only ever be Madrid, probably Liverpool, Barca. And the only reason I say probably Liverpool, I'll tell you why probably Liverpool in a minute, but probably Barca, Madrid, maybe Bayern Munich, AC Milan, if they were back to the peak. There's probably only 3 or 4 teams, if we had them in the final of any European competition, where there would be a bigger expectation on them than Man United on the European level. The only reason it might not be the same with Liverpool is if it was a Champions League final and it's their 6 versus our 3, there's almost more pressure on us to close the gap than there is for Liverpool to extend. So that's the only reason why.
It's about even on that one, because both there's an argument in both cases.
But other way, that's the only final I never ever want. I don't think I could handle losing a European Cup final to Liverpool. Again, it'd be amazing if we would have beat them and go 6-4. Yes, they'd have more than us, but to say we beat you for one of them, final. it gives an extra gravitas to it. However, I wouldn't I would love to have that. I'd love to have that bragging right, but I don't want to risk. You always got a risk of losing it. I don't want to. At the risk of getting it, I don't want to have that against me. So I'd rather never get them.
The odds on it aren't good enough for me to take the gamble of going. You know what? I'll take them in the final, and I think we'll win because I cannot have a world where we lose.
I hear it, but that's why I'm so for the final, Man U versus Spurs. I'm ready to take one of my ops, getting one for the drama it's going to cause.
Well, that's the thing for Arsenal fans. If it was an all English final, someone you despise is winning the Europa League. Yeah.
See, that's the thing. If you kind of look at that's the unfortunately the thing you're looking at. Because if you guys just say lose next week, obvious, because you guys are in the back foot going to that second leg. But if you guys are out of the Champions League and see Spurs under Ange, imagine Ange right after the season he's had this season, 19 losses in the league, looking so beatable. At the end of the season, he carries a trophy over Arsenal's head top. I'm sorry, man. No.
Finishing 6th.
Because you know, the rivals will
bro. It's a long day for us both. Man.
Oh, that is my point. So that's why I'm like, yo, do you want to really risk it? Letting Spurs go to the final, knowing that anything can happen in a final. Just saying,
I
man.
believe we're getting to the Champions League final, so it's no conversation. I'm
I
ready
do
to
desperately
entertain it.
want Ange to win this trophy though, because I think that post-match press conference, the way he acts in that
Thank
stadium after
you.
the game,
Literally,
it
need
will
something.
feed generations. The man will win a trophy and slag off his own fans.
But by the way, Henry, you need to get a new weather app. You told us before we went live. That's why I said it, and I look an idiot now. That it's going to be freezing cold in Norway right now. The weather's about 14, 15 degrees. It's not boiling hot, but it isn't freezing. And next Thursday, it's going to be between 7 and 14 degrees. That's not going to be freezing. You need a new weather app,
It's
son.
going to be you on Google.
Yeah. Well, no, the BBC, the Met Office. Sorry, the Met Office. The Met Office.
Says it's going to be 5 degrees.
Did you get? That's not freezing, bruv.
No,
You
but
said
you've got to
-1.
understand, you're next to the Arctic Circle. 5
didn't-
degrees is going to feel like -2.
No, finest. 5 degrees
It's
is
gonna
5
be fucking
degrees.
freezing,
Hang on.
mate.
What? No, he didn't just say that.
How's
Please,
it
just let him
5
off.
degrees
Let
is
him off.
5
Let him
like
off.
degrees.
5 degrees.
Yeah, you know, but they say it's 20 degrees, but it really feels like
No, that's it. That's if you've got wind chill. So if it's really windy, yes.
it's going to be
But if it-
windy. We're basically in the sea.
No, it's here. The weather forecast says sunny with slight clouds. There's no forecast for wind.
Back up, Eddie. Back up, bro.
The man doesn't understand weather. Can you tell time?
It says on here it's going to be when the game
He's
is
still
played
reading up
at
on it. Oh, Henry, please.
9
stop.
o'clock.
Henry,
It's
please.
going to be 6 degrees.
Please,
That
I
would still
beg
be
you,
fucking
bro.
cold.
Yeah, I'm not
Maybe
saying
not
I'm not
freezing, but it'll
again.
be cold.
Yeah, but yeah, okay, all right. But you do realize, okay, just so you understand, like 5 degrees is 5 degrees everywhere.
Yes,
You
I get
understand
that,
that, right?
yeah.
You know, if you like get an ice cube, right? An ice cube is an ice cube in every country in the world. It's not
Yeah.
more of an ice cube in a cold country than
It's
it is
still
in a
going to be
warm one.
like North Face jacket season. It's not going to be like running around with a t-shirt off, is
What
it?
if it's in France?
I mean,
Henry?
if we're talking about the wind as well, apparently it's only going to be 4 miles an hour.
You're not helping me here.
Yeah.
I-
Humidity can play a part as well. I understand. So it can feel warmer than it really is. But it was the way you said it. 5
I mean,
degrees. next to-
what's even funnier
it
is
makes it
this
sound
whole
like you were going to be
feels
by a
like-
black hole, and it's like gravity near the black hole is worse than it is here. This is how you made it sound. It's like you can be near a black hole.
the
I'm
whole
going to come
feels
home
like
20
thing
years.
as
I'm going
well.
to come home, and when I come back, you're all going to be 20 years older because I'm going close to that gravitational
like
pull.
it's interstellar, but like the whole feels like temperature thing. The temperature is going to be 7 degrees. It's only going to feel like 6. It's
Brilliant.
Going to feel 1 degree colder.
Brilliant.
Still cold, though, isn't it?
Moving on
Oh,
slightly from
come
that,
on.
I know we haven't had a chance to speak about the other games, like the City games, but the big game this weekend, Chelsea play Liverpool. Chelsea are chasing that top 4 position. How do we see him getting on against the team that are probably going to be hungover?
I have no idea.
Draw.
I mean,
Such a-
really depends on how Liverpool decide to turn up. Maybe they might just say, well, listen, man, the league is already wrapped up. We don't have to. I mean, to be fair, you're not in any more competitions. You know what I mean? So it's just like, maybe we might want to finish on a high. But then again, Chelsea do have everything to play for. They're trying to get Champions League football. So they're definitely going to be the ones with something to, prove in that game for sure. But I think it's Chelsea's game to win. Chelsea need to win that for themselves. But for Liverpool, I don't really think there's any, anything into it. But that doesn't mean they're not going to win. That doesn't mean they don't want to win. It's just that I don't think they want it as much as Chelsea.
Yeah, Omar, it's a mad game. It's like obviously they've got no reason to rest any players because you're not in the Club World Cup, right? Or are you not?
No.
Yeah, there's no reason to rest players, and we know it's Operation Set Up Salah, so Salah's definitely playing in that game. There's no doubt about that, and he doesn't drink anyway, so he's not going to be hungover. You get what I'm saying? So he's starting that game.
Everyone who's giving him the ball is.
There you go. There you are.
Yeah, it's a weird one, man. I see it being a draw. I can't see a scenario where Liverpool win the game, but I don't know, man. I don't know. Chelsea back-to-back wins.
You're not brilliant, Kingsley.
Back-to-back wins.
I don't care about this game. I do not give a
Literally.
flying fuck about the game. It could go anywhere.
honor
I wouldn't
to
really
There
care.
you go. Tom doesn't even care. He's not even.
I
No.
don't care about the result as long as I leave with Salah 2 assists. As long as we score 2 and Salah gets both assists and I'm closing on that assist record, that's fine by me. I have if anything, I could do with Chelsea winning because it gives Newcastle more of a chance at the top of falling out the top 5.
You don't want. How are you? You don't want Newcastle in the top 5. Why?
No, if Newcastle fall out the top 5, they might sell Isak.
Oh, fair. Yeah. Nah. Chelsea
Yeah,
getting
no,
top
I hear
5.
ya. Do you know, it's
Fuck
an
that.
interesting weekend, though, for the Premier League, because, like, Forest play tonight with a chance of putting themselves back into the chance of pushing Chelsea down to, looking at the league table here in front of me, they could push Chelsea back down to 6 in the league. City then play on Saturday, so they could extend themselves. Actually, better for me to look at it on who scored. It's so much easier than looking at it on live score.
Terry, have you seen the lineups?
No, 1 second, mate. We'll go to that in a sec. Yeah, so they play Wolves and City play on Friday night. Aston Villa then play on Saturday against Fulham as an example. So they all then play. Newcastle play at 2:00. So everybody's played before Chelsea. I do think the results of the other teams plays an impact on Chelsea. Everybody wins and Chelsea is sitting down there looking like they're in 7th, because I think they could drop as low as, no, they can't go to 7th. Goal difference is too good, but they could go as low as 6 with those other teams all winning. It's going to be very, very interesting to see. I'm excited about the top 4 race. Doesn't seem like a lot of other people are, but I think it's going to be great towards the end of the season. I really, really do. What are the starting lineups what's the starting lineup for your team?
I don't know what the fuck he's doing. He's got Richarlison playing off the left. Like,
Three goals, bro. 3 goals.
He's got
He's got that
Vicario,
in him,
Porro,
man. He's got that in
Romero,
him.
Van der Beek, Doggy. Okay, that's fine. Bergval's injured, so he's gone with Maddison, Benson, Core, and I think was that I got the Man United one, and Bissouma. I mean, I don't agree with Bissouma. And then he's gone Johnson, Solanke, and Richarlison on the left. Richarlison hasn't played on the left all season, and it's the biggest game of our fucking season. And you've got 2 left wingers on the bench, Tell and Mikey Moore.
Are you doubting second season and his infinite wisdom in a semi-final?
Yeah, man. Second season end, man. He's got a plan, man. He's a man with a plan. Come on, man.
Literally. Why are you worried, bro? Get that chest back out, man.
Mate, we got Richarlison playing on the left, and Bissouma, who's been shite all season playing in midfield.
Bro,
But yeah, I still 3-0.
Season and is gonna
Still
take
3-0.
over. Don't worry about
Man United is quite predictable, really. Onana in goal, back 3 of Lindelof, Maguire, and Yoro. Luke Shaw on the bench for this game. De Ligt on the bench. De Ligt will probably come on at some point. Fullbacks of Maz and Dorgu on the right and left, respectively. Central midfield, we're obviously going to try and shut them out of Casemiro and Ugarte in central midfield. Bruno and Garnacho in the 10s, and then man like Rasmus, goal machine at the weekend, Rasmus, up front, number 9. So. Yeah, I would have probably preferred Luke Shaw to start in the centre back roles and not Lindelof. But other than that, it's pretty much what I expected. I thought I would have started. I thought we might have started Mainoo, but he's obviously going to shut up shop and try and stop everything coming through. So we will see. We will see who comes out on top. A few comments here. Do you know what? This was to our conversation earlier, but this is maybe the best response to everybody getting angry about these promos, especially to all the old people. So anyone who's 35 years old and older, right? And I guarantee you when they were younger, they enjoyed this because we all did. Football clubs used to make actual songs that got released in the charts for the FA Cup finals.
Fact.
And they were all shit. But they were meant to be crap. Like there was the point of it. So let's be honest, right?
The top 10 as well.
Some of them they smashed it. So let's grab. I forgot about that, Gav. You're spot on. Anyone, especially old people, going, "Oh, we never had gimmicks in my day." You're liars. You are fucking liars. Do one and get. Actually, I'm on the side. I do the promos, people, because they've been going on forever. It's just old grumpy pricks. With all the injuries and suspensions, you must win tonight. That's obviously to you, Henry.
Anything other than 3-0, even with Richarlison on the left, against that Bodoe Glimt side, whatever they're called, fucking Bodoe Glimt, is embarrassing.
This here says, Terry, to visit the San Menez is one of my dreams. They have an insane home atmosphere. Their stadium is often called the Cathedral of Spanish football. Yeah, listen, it's an amazing stadium. It's in a beautiful location in Spain as well, right by the coast. Wonderful part of the country. It's going to be a very hard night for Manchester United this evening. I would snap a lot of people's arms off to take a draw right now. I would volunteer as one of the 100 men versus the Gorilla. If it meant a draw tonight, I would put myself forward for that. I'd give up a lot for that draw tonight. It's going to be a very, very tough game. And I just think Man United, to have a chance of going through to the final, we have to avoid a heavy defeat. I don't want to lose. a 1-goal deficit possibly can be overturned at Old Trafford. I think if we start losing by twos and threes, it's good night Vienna, as they say. What's the worst accent in the UK and why is it Scouse?
That's a weird way of spelling
Wow.
fucking Brum. That's a weird way of spelling Brummy.
Yeah, it is Brummy. It's the Brummy accent. It is the Brummy accent.
It's the worst. It's the worst.
It's Brummy. They talk like that, like their nose don't work. It's awful.
It's shocking.
It is Brummies.
I'll say this, Terry, about the Bilbao United game. Listen, at the end of the day, I feel like Bilbao, just like, here's the thing. Can you beat them? Absolutely. But also, when you look at it, I think the final is being hosted in their stadium. And I know from like talking to a lot of like Bilbao fans, not actually talking to them, but I know what they've been saying is that they really won this Europa League because they are hosting this final. You understand what I'm saying, right? So they're trying to win their first European trophy in their home ground, right? And if you look at like their home record, yeah, you're right. At the end of the day, this season, they've won, I think, all of their games at home this season in the Europa League, right? And they've won by most of those games. They've won by 2 or 3 goals, right? And they are technically, in the top 5 race in La Liga right now, alongside Betis and all of those teams. They're playing Real Sociedad this weekend away. So I don't know. Maybe they might rotate in that game, but I'll be honest, man. After the way I saw you guys play against Lyon, especially in the second leg, right? You guys cannot give those opportunities to these guys because they are.
I agree.
Bro, these guys are vultures. They will.
I totally agree. That level. That's why I don't have a great deal of chest or confidence because we have that in us to do it. So, yeah, they can beat us. Look, the hope is, and it is pure hopium. My hope is that they are focused so much on getting to the final because it's in their ground that they end up doing a little bit of an Arsenal on Tuesday and playing the occasion rather than the game. And it gives Man United an advantage, as it were. And I also think, look, there are some potential positives for us if we are able to get through this tie and make the final. That our players have visited the stadium in the previous game, been to the city, got to understand the location a little bit, played in the stadium. And I always think that gives you a little, that might be a minute advantage that you can have. But look, the biggest thing for me, as I say today, is try not to walk away with a heavy defeat. Keep ourselves in the tie for the second leg because Old Trafford will be rocking. The noise will be there. And I just think in knockout football, and our season has proven it, and it's a great game tonight. They're unbeaten at home. We're unbeaten. They've won every home game. And we're unbeaten in the tournament this season. One of those things ends tonight. So they either draw for the first time or lose a home game, or United lose for the first time. So one of them's got to go. But as long as they're not out of it in this leg, I'll be okay with that.
I mean, look, I'll say this: they are missing Sanchez, the attacking midfielder, who has actually been one of their best players, especially during this run in the Europa League. So he would definitely be a big miss in this game. But I'll say this: there is history, obviously, between United and Bilbao. Because remember, I think when you guys were in the Europa League with Silas Ferguson, I think his last Europa League, last run in the Europa League, he actually lost to Bilbao. If you remember,
we do, but we have a very nice relationship with Bilbao in the sense of we've played a few games against them. They've always been tremendously respectful to our football club. I remember Wayne Rooney scored a screamer at their ground and they applauded it. Ryan Giggs got a standing ovation even when he left or when he came onto the football pitch. They were tremendous. They were just a tremendously respectful football club towards us. And they celebrated their win and they gave us a bit of stick, but it was done in a very, for me, a very, very nice way. So there isn't a history of any kind of needle. I think it'll be a great atmosphere there tonight. And I actually think you might, if we actually pulled off a madness tonight and got a victory there, you will see a lot of respect from their fans. They respect the football club, and I like that because you don't get that a lot in modern day football, where a team shows respect to a club with the prestige and the history of a Man United or a Liverpool or a Real Madrid. There's so much needle. So, yeah, man, it's going to be my friend though. Sent me KJ, sorry, my friend sent me this through. He says I've just been given this Man United match bingo card, and I think he's got a great chance of winning. His bingo card has on it tonight Garnacho to miss an important chance, Onana to make a mistake that cost us a goal, Rasmus to lose every battle with opponents' defenders, Bruno to create 3 big chances, Dorgu to hit Rosed with a shot, and Shaw to get injured at some point. Like, he could win that. He could win. Don't you think? Like, that's a winning ticket. KJ, you
How
might win
much
some
does
money
he get
tonight.
if he wins? How much?
I didn't ask him, but that's a winning ticket because I can see all those things happening.
The odds on
Definitely.
that won't be great, like, if we're being honest.
Well,
You
it's just a
tried to
bingo
put-
card. It's the same price. It's just a random card, I think, that comes out. So, look, I want to say bingo already. I want to thank everybody that's tuned into this show so far today. We are going to shoot off mainly because the games are going to be getting built up for, and I want to actually watch a little bit of build up to my club's semi-final. We're going live afterwards where we're reacting to Tottenham and Man United. We will be reacting to the Chelsea game as well. If Chelsea fans want to come and join us and tell us how you got on, because they're playing the Conference League tonight. I know we didn't speak about it, but and it's not dig, they just are. There's bloody so many European competitions. It's so fucking difficult to keep up with all of them. This video, people, is going to redirect you, I think, to Hassam's watch along for tonight's game, or his hate along for tonight's game. So if you want to go and join him, get that done. Thank you, Twisted Bubba, for wishing me luck. And I'm going to do the same. I want to say good luck to Bilbao tonight. Good luck to Tottenham. And come on, Bodoe Glimt, is what I'm going to say. So just because I'd love to see Henry, I'm not going to lie. If you guys don't win tonight, I just want to see your Henry's meltdown.
It's a long day. It's a long
Will
day.
be epic on toast.
None of
Mate.
you are going to see that. So
That chair will be. It'll get 2 kicks. Might even get a cheap.
We'll get a drop kick. Drop kick, mate.
1,000,000%.
Everybody take care. Goodbye. God bless. And I'll see you all again soon. Peace.